Hello, my name is Alexey Matveev, and in this video we'll continue to talk about atlassian-connect-express, and we will talk about context parameters. The video will be based on this article. I will give the URL for this article in the description for the video, so later you can consult it. Okay, so what are the context parameters? The context parameters are placeholders you can put into modules URL to have Bitbucket send contextual information with each request to that module. What it means? For example, let's take our repo pages module. We have it in atlassian-connect.json, and here it is. And as you can see, this module calls our connect example endpoint. And also it has a URL parameter repo path, and the value of repository dot full name value is assigned to this repo path parameter. So what is repository? Repository is a context parameter. When Bitbucket calls your URL, Bitbucket fills this repository dot full name itself and provides the full name of the repository. That is how it works, and then later you can see the value of this repo path parameter in your application. Okay, I will show you how it works. First of all, let's go to our Bitbucket and install our application. Here it is. Now it is installed. Now let's go to one of our repo. For example, here. And after it, let's choose our example page. And you see, we went to the debugger. Now, if we have a look at the request variable, here it is, we will see that the query attribute, you see, repo path equals to alex1 mmc prime bb test app repo. So Bitbucket placed the value for this parameter itself when we called our URL. Okay, so that is how it works. The next thing about context parameters, how would you know what context parameters are available? To find this out, you need to open this link, this one in my article, and then you will be able to see, here it is, you see, for example, if you've got admin pages, you've got target user context parameter and user, and we've got repo pages. That's why we've got target user, repository, and user. Target user, it is the user under whom your application is installed. User is the one who clicked the example page link in the menu, and repository is the repository from which the example page link was clicked. That's how it works. Another question which you ask, how would I know what attribute each of this context parameter has? And to answer this question, you have to see the REST API of Bitbucket. For example, let's go Bitbucket Cloud REST API. If we go here, browse, then for example, if you want to see attributes of the user or the target user, it's this one. So here is the scheme, and for example, we can find username actually is not available anymore. Username was deleted by Atlassian. You can find the nickname, account status, display name. So what you can write for a user, for example, you can write it like this. Okay, we don't need it anymore. For example, if you go to Atlassian Connect, you can write it like this. You can, for example, add something and then say that user nickname, for example, equals, and here we can write user dot nickname. We took it from here, see nickname, this one. Yeah, nickname. Okay, so that's how it works. For repository, you can find here repositories, workspace, repo slug, and then the get REST endpoint. Here it is. We've got even example here. So for example, you can get has wiki, or for example, you can get watchers and href. For example, okay, let's get has wiki, for example. How would we write it? We would write it like this: and repo has wiki equals to repository. I'll copy it just to make sure that I didn't misspell it. Repository has wiki. And for example, I want to get the links. It will be, for example, repo. Which links would we want to get? For example, let's say we want to have watchers. So it will be repo watcher links equals, and here again repository dot, then the next one is links. Here see, it will be links, and then it will be watchers. Here it is, and then it will be this one. Okay, so that's how it works. Now we can try to update our read-on, and then we will be able to see that right now we will also get user nickname, repo has a wiki, and repo watcher links. Okay, let's try it. We will go here. Let's go back. I'll do it like this. And this one. Then I'll go to settings, installed apps, and then I will update this one. Okay, updated. Now I'll go back to our application over here, and then I will refresh the page. And you see now I'm getting into my debug again. Let's have a look at the request queries, query. And you see we've got here repo path, like we had before, repo watch links, we've got it, you see. What else? Has wiki false, and user nickname is Alexey Matveev. So everything worked. And that's how context parameters work. Why would you need it? For example, let's say you've got some kind of analytics, and for example, you want to write all the actions which were done by a user using your application. In this case, you can get, for example, the name of the user, you can get the repository which user used, and then save it somewhere in your analytics. Or, for example, you have an integration with an external system, and you need to pass to this external system, for example, let's say, the repo which you're using. You can do that. Or, for example, you want to log this information, some information to the log file. So that's how you can use these context variables, but it's not limited. Actually, you can also use these context variables for conditions, but we will talk about conditions in some other video. And that's all for the video. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.